And I've seen some really incredibly talented people in this field without any degrees. They just put in the work and they get in front of a computer and they do like incredible things. And so I I know that I've done a lot of work with WGU and been involved with their cyber club, but I don't think it's required for anybody to get a degree to work in the field. Because as long as you have passion and you are willing to put in the time to learn things, that's all you need.
Welcome to the Philip Wylie Show. Take a look behind the curtain of professional hacking and hear compelling discussions with guests from diverse backgrounds who share a common curiosity and passion for challenges and their job. And now, here's your host, offensive security professional, educator, mentor, and author, Philip Wylie.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Philip Wylie Show. Today I'm joined by Edna Jonsson and also my cat Mickey here in the background is decided he wanted to be on a podcast. He's made several cameos before, but he seems like he's kind of calmed down now. But so Edna and I have known each other from the cybersecurity community for a while. I guess we met through the WGU Discord, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was probably 4 to 5 years ago now. Like it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was back probably during the pandemic, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
It was during the pandemic. That's when the club started and it started growing a lot. And you were one of the first speakers that came to talk to the students back then. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see because it's kind of interesting. You were a student back then trying to get into cybersecurity, and now you're an established professional and doing a lot of cool stuff. So before we get started, I always have my guests share their hacker origin story, and if you wouldn't mind sharing yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I was interested in coding. So I started to learn how to program just on my own using the internet. So I was taking like the free code academy, and then I enrolled in a course called CS50, which is an edX course. It's provided by Harvard. And somebody in there mentioned DEF CON. And once I went down the DEF CON rabbit hole, I just loved cybersecurity after that because I learned so much. I watched the talks online. There was this one write-up by a person named Lost that like I read their write-up and I was like, this is so mesmerizing, like hearing the description of going to DEF CON and what a wild experience that could be, and so many unexpected but fun things happen. And then I still continued into coding. So I worked as a software engineer for a few years until I decided that I was going to go back to school and I was going to learn what I needed to learn to get into cybersecurity because I had such a passion for it. So I started at WGU just before the pandemic started. So at that time, we were several students got together and started this club, and I joined in, and there was a lot of activities you could do online. And since you were at home all the time, it was like I had all the time in the world to be doing all the fun things. I joined the CCDC team, the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition team, the National Cyber League, CTF, all kinds of different activities. I ended up becoming the NICE Challenge coordinator because I was doing that every weekend, writing up write-ups about the challenges. So all these activities, they really helped me with getting my first jobs. After a while, after being involved in these activities and posting about them online, I was able to land my first job as a SOC analyst at Binary Defense.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what type of work are you still working in a SOC?
I am, yes. I'm now a SOC analyst and cybersecurity engineer. So it's kind of a hybrid role.
No, very cool. It must be nice to get to learn some new stuff, but although there's so much that you can learn in a SOC, so for people that may not know what a SOC is, if you could kind of describe what that role consists of.
Yeah, so it's the Security Operations Center, and that is companies will have their security team that watches for alerts and things that are happening in the environment, whether that's on endpoints or in the network. They'll have these monitorings for them, and the events are sent to a SIEM system, or a security information and event management system. Based on what we have seen in the past or some built-in alerts, it will let us know when things don't look right or don't look normal. And then we can dig into things a little bit more, look at what's happening on the device or in the network, and start to try to understand the alerts better.
So for someone who would be interested in getting into like a SOC analyst role, what would you recommend career-wise for them to learn to prepare for that role and get the training needed to be a SOC analyst?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that people can do. I think getting a job in help desk first or field support, things like that, that help you understand the normal activities on the computer. So that you know what when things go bad. So security, it involves a lot of just being able to look in the weeds of things and in the thick of things and figure out like, oh, that's not how that's supposed to go. And then just kind of go down the rabbit hole of, okay, well, this happened. What else happened? Can you correlate the two? And you're looking at logs, but you're trying to figure out like what happened along the way. So help desk, there's activities that you can do like try hack me and hack the box. Those are really helpful. And they have tracks. There's tracks for SOC analysts. There's also places that provide training. So John Hammond has a training, and there is Black Hills Information Security. They have Pay What You Can training. And if you're interested in detection engineering or threat hunting, DEFCON is a conference that I help with organizing, and they have workshops that you can do. And we have Pay What You Can as well for the online tickets.
Very cool. So what are some roles that people can, once, say someone out there listening works in the SOC, what are some roles that SOC can prepare you for if you want to move on from a SOC role?
Yeah, so if you're looking at for the future, you could go into there's the cybersecurity engineer. So part of that is like putting together playbooks or writing Python scripts and things like that. There's detection engineering, so trying to figure out like this bad thing happens, how would you detect it? So you're gathering information, what's happening in the greater like cybersecurity landscape and finding what other people are talking about. And then how could you detect, this kind of activity that you heard about? There is threat hunting, which is looking for threats in your environment. You could be looking for like insider threats or things like that. What else? There's GRC if you want to go into the governance, regulatory compliance side. That side, if you have IT knowledge, that's so helpful with understanding like how to write guidance. Let me see what else. I mean, you could go into management. That's an option. Managing a team and being responsible for helping people in their careers and making sure everybody is getting their work done and things like that.
So I know you have a degree and I would imagine you probably have some certs. So if you wouldn't mind kind of describing what degrees and certifications that you have.
Yeah. So right now I have a bachelor's of science in cybersecurity and information assurance from WGU. And I'm also almost done with my master's degree in the same field at WGU. Some certifications that I have the SSCP from ISC2. So that's security certification. I have the CYSA Plus, which is the cybersecurity. I'm blanking on the name, but it's like the analyst one. So it
Yeah,
is.
that's like a step up or progression from the Sec Plus, isn't it? Like the
Yes.
next level up.
Yep. So that one would like renew the Security Plus when you pass it. Uh, yeah, I also have the Security Plus. That's a great foundational cert. That's what I had when I got my first job and helped me get it breaking into the field. I didn't have the CYSA Plus at that time. I also have the Pen Test Plus. So got a little bit of knowledge on pen testing. I've got A Plus and Network Plus and Project Plus. So as you can tell, I have a lot of CompTIA certifications. I also have an ITIL certification. So if I ever want to dive into change management, I've got the cert for that. And I have a Site Developer Associate certification as well from CIW.
Okay. So, so having those credentials and stuff, and I know you've worked with a lot of people and helped a lot of people out that want to get started. Is it required that you have a degree or certifications to get started in cybersecurity?
I would say it's not required, but it definitely helps to have something to get started. if you just have a Security Plus, like that is huge for being able to get your first cybersecurity job. Bachelor's degrees, they help. Some companies, that is like an HR filter that they have. They require their employees that work in security to have a bachelor's degree. It could, if you don't have one, it could exclude you from some jobs, but there are still jobs that will take people without a bachelor's degree. So that is definitely not a requirement, but it does help. What I recommend when I'm talking to people trying to break in, if they're asking like about a bunch of different certs, I'll suggest taking the Security Plus and maybe like some Microsoft certification or Splunk, because those can be inexpensive compared to some of the other ones that are out there. Because I think when you're starting out, you don't need to go get a certification that's like $1,000 to get started. You should be able to find affordable ways to get certifications to show that you're gaining knowledge and you can help with different technologies. So
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how things have evolved, because when I got started in security, there wasn't anything called security as far as degrees. It was like data assurance or something like that, and the only degrees you could really get were master's degrees. There weren't any bachelor degrees yet, and surely no associate's degrees. So it's interesting how that's changed, but it's kind of interesting too with the security field, how people can actually do well with just certifications or no degrees, because, there's some other areas that people are in that, if you're really going to get ahead, you need to have like a master's degree. And for those willing to put in the time and effort, PhDs, it's interesting to see how some of those fields really require that kind of stuff. But the cybersecurity, you can do pretty well with, degree with, a degree or certifications or something that's not as strict on the credentials as some of the other fields are.
Yeah. And I've seen some really incredibly talented people in this field without any degrees. They just put in the work and they get in front of a computer and they do like incredible things. And so I know that I've done a lot of work with WGU and been involved with their cyber club, but I don't think it's required for anybody to get a degree to work in the field. Because as long as you have passion and you are willing to put in the time to learn things, that's all you need.
Yeah, and it seems like people that are good at self-study, of course, WGU, you had to be pretty disciplined since it was virtual. It's not like sitting in a classroom, because there's some people that need to be in a classroom, or they're not going to stay on task and not be as successful. So WGU, and especially the self-study route, you've got to be disciplined to be able to do that. And so for anyone here listening to this, one of the things I think is a plus for certifications and especially degrees, is the fact that you've got a path laid out that you don't have to go through and try to figure out what you need to learn how to do this stuff. You've got things laid out. So wouldn't you say if you're doing just the certification route, it's required to do a lot more research to figure out what you need, opposed to going to a college where they kind of plan everything and you have to get certain trainings and courses to be able to get the degree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being able to be that self-study person does help in this field, because there's constantly new things coming up that you have to learn. So having that ability to go jump in and like, okay, today I'm going to learn, I'm just going to say like an example, Kubernetes, and learn all about that, or I'm going to go and learn about this other technology. It just takes that ability to go and find that information and learn about it and read it and get hands-on experience with it. So that's definitely a good quality to have in this field.
Yeah, one of the things you're definitely going to have is like when you get new technologies that come out, if you're an offensive security professional, and like a year or two ago, you want to learn how to pen test AI, not using AI to pen test, but build pen test AI, you were going to do a lot of self-study and research, because there really weren't very many resources out. And that seems to be the case when new technologies come out. Back when cloud was new, trying to find security courses around that was a little more difficult. So I really agree with what you're saying about the being able to self-study and be able to do the research.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like sometimes this information we go finding for, it's like looking for things that are esoteric and kind of hard to understand sometimes, and gotta have that discipline to be able to keep going and keep looking for it.
And so one of the things I think we definitely should discuss too is the fact that, I know you're big into community, and if you can kind of share with the listeners how community can benefit people in their learning process as well as getting jobs in cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know that I started with WGU and got really involved with them. I have a passion for helping other people growing in their careers and in their self-study journey. Yeah. So it's been for me it's been helpful to my career because how much I get involved, I'm very visible. So it's been great as I'm participating in events. I feel like I learn things because I attend so many talks. I learned so many different things in different areas. So even if I have, picked my focus being in the SOC and learning about threat hunting. I'm also learning about pen testing. I'm learning about GRC. I'm learning about all these different things, which helps me when, when you get put into a meeting about something that you're maybe not in your wheelhouse, you at least have some kind of fundamental knowledge about that field and you've, heard some of the terms that are used around it. So that's been really helpful. So the talks are great. Getting opportunities to participate in CTFs and getting hands-on opportunities on keyboard doing things, that definitely helps your skills grow. And I've really met some great people playing in CTFs and some really talented people. When you meet people who are like so super smart, they can teach you some like really great tips about their whatever they're the SME in. So that's been wonderful. I have people that I can ping and say, hey, this, I'm interested in something with C sharp or something, and I'm trying to figure it out. And then you can just get answers pretty quickly from a human that, knows you and can help support you on whatever you're trying to figure out. So making those connections has been great. Yeah. There's just a lot that you can benefit from volunteering. Do you want to mention some of the things that I'm volunteering with?
Sure. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind sharing
Yeah.
some of those.
Yeah, so I am the volunteer coordinator for B-Sides Orlando, as well as I run Career Village and the Social Engineering Adventure Village. The Social Engineering Adventure Village is a traveling village, so that's been at a couple of B-Sides, and hopefully we're working on having it at more B-Sides events, conferences in the future, as well as some other local conferences. I've been volunteering with DEFCON, which is the Detection Engineering and Threat Hunting Conference, since year zero. So we count from zero. And it's been wonderful. I get to participate in the workshops. I'm now organizing the in-person event for Orlando. So we have a small gathering. So the conference is primarily a virtual conference. It's workshop based, so it's all hands-on learning. So there's a video and then the workshop, and we get some amazing speakers for it, presenters that do their workshops. And I'm now one of the conference organizers for that as well, for the virtual conference. And I have helped out in the past with DC 407 and the museum. I'm now also with WGU. I'm the assistant coach for the CCDC team. So we're just getting started for the season. And it's great to see so many people interested in learning with us.
Very cool. And for the listeners too, that because sometimes it could be confusing, but she was saying DEFCON, DEATH, which you may hear and think DEF CON, because that's what I was thinking at first. And then once she said it again, it's, oh yeah. Because when you mentioned which year was year zero, it's like, okay, this is DEF CON, not DEF CON. So for the folks on there, so you see the difference. So that's good that there's still some virtual opportunities like that, because there were so many virtual conferences during the pandemic, and then people got burned out on virtual stuff, or either a lot of people went back to in person, and a lot of these conferences didn't offer the virtual opportunities anymore. So it's good to see that there are some good quality conferences out there still offering virtual options to their conference.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And we have attendees from all around the world. And some of our in-person events are all over the world too. So it's wonderful to connect so many people together and from different walks of life.
And that's just kind of back to the networking piece. And I mean, nowadays that the job market is so tough to be able to find jobs, you really have to network with people to be able to find jobs nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking. So when you're trying to get a job, it really helps that people know and trust you. And the best way for people to get to know you and to start trusting you is if you start networking and putting yourself out there.
So one of the things I also want to discuss too is that you've started a podcast. If you wouldn't mind sharing about your podcast.
Yeah. So it's called Security Chipmunks. Our motto is we keep chipping away at it because to me, like getting into cybersecurity, it's like a big mountain and you just have to keep on chipping through it. And bit by bit, you learn and get better every day. And it is a continual progress. The podcast is aimed for the audience for people who are new to cybersecurity. Either you're early on in the career or you're looking to break into the career, and have guests on there who share their perspectives, what they're doing, and some of their advice on how to break into the field.
Very cool. So how many episodes are you in so far?
We just recorded the 21st episode.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's
How
good.
long have you been running now?
So it actually started in 2021.
Okay.
I think we had 10 episodes in that year, and then I restarted it this year. And I've got a few more episodes in this year, but I plan to keep going with it. It's on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and several other platforms now. So I'm really excited to see how it'll grow and hopefully find new listeners for it. Hopefully
Very
people will
cool.
find value in it. Yeah, thank you.
And we'll share information in the show notes so people can find your podcast. So what are some other ways people can contact you or follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on LinkedIn, Edna Jonsson, Jonsson. It's Icelandic. I'm on Twitter at Edna's. Same with Blue Sky. I'm on the InfoSec Exchange, I think is ET-Hacks, and ET-Hacks on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that you recently had Jerry Bell on, so I figured you would be on the InfoSec or the Mastodon InfoSec channel. So yeah,
he was
very
so
cool.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember what that looked like. That was kind of the platform everyone was going to for a while, because back even before Twitter, kind of people started getting away from it. Some people started going over there because Jerry built that community. I remember when folks were going over there first, and then with recent stuff with Twitter and all that, more people have left and stuff. So it's always good to have options. So appreciate you taking time to join today. Anything you'd like to share that we didn't discuss?
If you're not involved in your local B-Sides group or your local community, go out there and start making some friends. There are some great people out there. The people that show up to these events are going to network just like you. So don't be shy. Go talk to them. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for joining. It's great catching up with you, and awesome to have you on. And so thanks everyone for joining. We'll have all of Edna's information in the show notes so you can connect with her on social media and how you can find her podcast. And if you enjoy this podcast, like and share with your friends. One of the best things you can do is share information with others, whether it's blog posts, your favorite blogs, podcasts, and newsletters, and so forth. It's one of the easiest. If you're wanting to get back to the community and you don't really feel like you have enough experience yet, we all can give. But even on that point, there's nothing easier than you can do than sharing information with others. And that's kind of one of the things I did before I started teaching and getting into speaking and all that, is I would share resources with people that wanted to become pen testers. So resource sharing is huge. So make sure to share the resources you like and check out Edna's podcast and share with your friends as well. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the Philip Wylie Show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, to learn more about Philip, go to thehackermaker.com and connect with him on LinkedIn and Twitter at Philip Wylie. Until next time.